No, I think I'm going to get more confused.
Yeah, Ben! Yo, he's a fucking animal. You goddamn king. What? No.
Yeah, how do I...
You right. Where do you think he's going? Shit, look at that tackle. Yo, wait. I can't talk to him. Whoa. Look at him. Eyes being taken down. We did one. That would be so sick. Why? That's so unnecessary. What is this game? No one actually does. Just a bunch of guys fucking chasing a weirdly shaped ball, fucking smashing into each other. They just hey, here we go! Fucking yeah, my man.
Pardon?
They said.
Alright.
Good work, boys. Good job.
Like the snow in the seats.
Being too, like, the timing isn't even right for a normal game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of this is more because, like, there's a lot of new guys like me.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to get him in without killing him because 40 minutes is a long time to be in.
Wait, so they scored and we kick off to them?
Yes. It's like football, but there's a few, like, just things that are a bit backwards about it.
I mean, I don't even think about it like football. I think about it like half-court basketball with like maybe
Yeah. I kind of think it took a weird, for, like, I'm a football player, or well, used to be, so, like, I think of it like football, but that's because that makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a weird combination of football, hockey, and soccer. Like, there's elements of all three sports in it.
Yeah.
So, but it is weird. There's a lot of weird rules. Like,
It's just funny because like we say that, but everywhere else in the world, football's weird.
oh yeah, like,
Rugby's the sport around the world.
oh yeah, like I met number 7, who was on the field, who's wearing a cap. He was on my ASOP, and I was trying to explain American football to him because he doesn't know how it works, and he could not understand it because in this game there's like 2 penalties. Like, there's only so much you can do wrong. So it is kind of weird to us, at least. Damn, this thing's broken, so we keep having to.
Well, it's funny because like in soccer and in rugby, which are like kind of worldly sports.
Yeah, that's
like,
it.
The rules are simple. Like there's not like taunting fouls.
Stand. Yeah, no, yeah.
There's not fouls that aren't related to the game. Like you can get kicked out for like being dirty.
Yeah.
Like, in any sport, but like in football and basketball, there's so many rules that are just based off of like what we perceive to be like good sport. Because apparently like, Americans can't just like be competitive.
Yeah, no, Americans are a lot nastier. I'd say that. Yeah, I like that though.
What?
I like that because you can be nasty in rugby. They really don't care,
Yeah.
which I like.
Or so maybe I should say like.
But they're
Americans
less
are
nasty.
too sensitive.
Well, I think Americans are just nastier, so they have to have rules for things like that. Whereas,
But my thing is like in the NFL, do we really care that they celebrate after they score a touchdown as long as they're lined up within the 40 seconds?
no, and I really don't think they're really getting lax with that because
they got rid of it.
they got rid of it because it was stupid.
Like,
I mean,
why did they put it in the first place? And then like in the NBA, like you can't like flex at somebody too meanly.
yeah. Yeah, no.
If you want to score a basket and then like knock it back on defense because you're celebrating, like that's cool. Like,
Yeah.
Why are we giving people technicals for that?
I mean, like, I come from like a different mentality as far as sports. The Southern mentality is a lot more like sportsmanship based.
Right.
Like, it's a lot more like low key,
I'm not
yeah.
saying that you shouldn't act that way.
But like, you should be free to celebrate. Yeah, there's
But,
like,
why? I think there's a whole other reason. Like I said, if you don't want to get back on defense because you're too busy celebrating, like that's on you and your team.
Yeah,
like,
no,
that
yeah.
hurts you, in my opinion.
yeah.
But like, why do we care so much to like? I don't know. I think we police a lot because we think that like that's how things should be done. It's like if people want to do it that way,
Yeah.
it's okay. Not hurting.
Yeah, so they just got tackled in their own end zone. So, I don't know. I think we have to scrum. Still don't exactly know how this game works. I only started playing a month ago. So it's kind of a lot weird. I was supposed to they added that 5-day acclimation rule to your, and I can't play because of that. It's really made me mad. But I get why it makes sense.
I know it's like I coach here.
Oh yeah.
So like we just like in the fall when they get to campus, like they can't start training with Mike until they like have that in and stuff, and it's like well, we want to start training like
now
right when they get to campus, but they have to get all that stuff in. But then the date this year for the physicals was like midway through the fall, it was just all like I get it. Like I want them to.
Yeah.
Like no, I don't want that to be my
You want your best players out there.
Like and the best coaches are very good at balancing like, okay, what things am I like?
What are important to me and what will I
like,
penalize?
okay, my best player does this. They're bench, but my best player has been on time for 4 years and they show up 5 minutes late because they got a flat tire. Like
exactly.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna make an exception for that. Like you have a rapport with me. So like a freshman does that, yeah, maybe I do sit on it.
Yeah.
I don't know, just different things like that. But like, when it comes to and like when you don't know people as well, like you're not your team, like it's, you know, the training staff is obviously you've got more people.
Yeah.
It's like so much more difficult. But at the same time, like, less effective.
Yeah, I know.
And then you get hurt and you try to sue, it's like, well, the protocol is followed.
Yeah.
This is like industry standards, whatever. And it's like, it's all about, and I get that because like, I've heard of, like, there's a kid at my old job who she tore her ACL.
Yeah.
And the training staff knew that she wasn't supposed to be practicing. But the and this is kind of messed up because it kind of is their fault, but the training staff never really told the coach she shouldn't be practicing, and so she just ended up like she just practiced.
Yeah.
She didn't tell anybody, even though she knew she wasn't supposed to be practicing. So then like whatever happened, she ends up tearing her ACL, and then like 3 years go by, and now she's suing my old boss because she was playing.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you were told not to play. You knew you weren't supposed to play. And you just did it anyway.
Yeah.
And like my question to Susquehanna is like, okay, first of all, why isn't there a trainer like just walking up in the gym every now and then to see what's going on?
Yeah, because they should know every person that shouldn't be playing.
And second of all, why does the coach not know that she shouldn't be playing?
Ooh, so that hurt. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah. When they scrum, they like interlock heads, so when it falls in, it's not fun. That's the most dangerous part, because I'm one of the front guys, which is like, there's like 3 guys that like, there's 2 guys that really bear like 80% of the weight on that, or at least it seems like it is, probably less, but the 2 guys on the outside, it's the props. But yeah, when it falls in, it's not fun. Anyway, you were saying?
Just like, I mean, like there are problems there, but at the end of the day, that's on that kid.
Yeah.
But like they're open, like the kid's suing now 3 years later. Like, what changed to make you want to do that?
Yeah.
And then my friend actually, who I work with, who is a volleyball coach here, her old school, a kid is suing them for like making them practice too much, basically.
Which is stupid.
Like the report is ridiculous, but it's just like the things that kids can do.
Yeah. Well, like again, like I come from like exactly like, and I come from like I'm from Arkansas, so like in the South, like the laws just don't apply. Like we wouldn't get water in practice until the end of practice. Like you got water after a 2.5 hour practice. That was just the way it was. And I come up here and it's like coach is like, all right, every 20 minutes, you know, you need to be able to get water. It's like that just blows my mind. Or you know, they just started. You know, when I was younger, when I played like junior high football, there were no rules. You know, there was no concussion protocol. I probably had 4 or 5 concussions, but like, you know, you just got your bell rung and you get up and you move on.
It's crazy to me because I've seen like research studies on like youth football and stuff, and like the younger you are, like there's a higher rate of concussions, even though you're not being hit that hard.
Yeah, well, it's just because you're not
developed. No idea how to hit. You have no idea
you put your head down and like
and like
you're
you
dumb.
have coaches who have no idea how to teach that.
Yeah, you have lower professionals and lower experience. More people are gonna get hurt. That's just
as you get older, you're like you develop that technique. You have better coaches, and like even though you're hitting harder, you have less concussions, and those concussions aren't as bad.
Exactly.
But it's just like so like I get like you know what I mean, like I get why those things should be regulated.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that, but at the same time, it's just like there's like a certain level of responsibility now that gets taken away from players, and I mean that more as we get older. Like I don't mean that for 5th graders.
Yeah.
But like there's just a certain level of responsibility that as a player you have.
Yes.
Over things, and if if you're just not tough enough or whatever, like,
that's your prerogative, and that's fine. But like,
and again, like there's like I don't think coaches should just be able to be like I don't think coaches in college should be able to be like, no, you can't have practice on this 100-degree day.
Yeah.
Or you can't have water during practice on this 100-degree day while we're wearing hats. Like I don't think that. I think that that's kind of abusive.
That's more of a moral issue at that point, because like again, like in the summer, it'd be above 100 degrees every single practice. We practice for 3 weeks and it'd be 105, 110, and then the humidity. I mean, Arkansas is one of the more miserable states as far as weather because it's so much more humid and it's hot, and we don't have the ocean to cool us off. But I mean, I find it's funny because here people are so much more like, you know, worried. Even the club sport. I mean, the coaches are more cognizant of like, issues like that in a club sport than our varsity program in high school. But that's more of a cultural difference at that point, and that's just more of like the I guess like tough Southern which like I come from, so I'm used to.
Like where does that line fall? Because
it's starting to fall quick, unfortunately. Unfortunately for my view.
To me, I feel like the line is starting to fall like it's just going extremely in the other direction. So it's like 10 years ago, it was very extreme and like you got Bob Knight just like punching kids in the face.
Yeah. I've been punched by coaches. Yeah. I've been hit in the head. I mean, like that was no big big deal.
And now we're like going to the extreme other side where it's like
you can't do anything.
Coaches are like handcuffed.
Yeah. Coaches can't.
And trying to build like mental toughness and just different things like that. It becomes super hard because I think like a lot of kids take it as you know, coach doesn't like me.
Yeah.
Like even it takes it even further.
Yeah.
Like, as something bad, grab your face down. It's like, well, we have this, we have a back and forth. But then when you have a third party who's just watching your practice see that happen, they're like, oh my gosh,
that's terrible. That's why I don't think parents should be able to go to practices either. Because like used to when I was a kid, the parents would line up in lawn chairs and get him, for the love of Christ. Parents would line up on lawn chairs and drink and just watch the practices. Yeah. Drinking is like a major part of any social event. You know how it goes. And I don't like that because then you have parents coming down yelling and it's like, you aren't a coach. You have no clue what you're talking about. You watching football every Saturday afternoon does not mean you know what you're doing.
It's so funny because, I think all the coaches, it's like once you get to Division III, it's just, I mean, and even at Division I, because like when you're in the recruiting process, like as coaches, you don't just get to know players, you get to know parents. And, but it's just funny, like they'll watch a game and like just have all of these opinions on different things, and it's like you haven't been at any practice.
Yeah.
You haven't, like, you know, like you just don't know. Like even if you like, because as a coach, like even if I have an opinion, like I'm watching someone else play, even if I have an opinion on them, like in terms of their game, I'm like, well, I can't really judge that coach because I haven't been in practice. Like, you know, is that kid whatever?
You don't know anything. You don't know.
I don't know that kid's attitude. I don't know that kid's relationship with her teammates. I don't know, you know, is she having just a crazy good game, but she hasn't been doing that the past 2 weeks. You know, like, there's just so much you don't know that I'm not going to pass judgment.
Yeah.
But, like, parents don't hold back.
No, because it's their kids. And, like, I get that to a point, but, like, you know, for instance, you know, my dad was a football coach before I was born. Like that, he coached Pee Wee, and then when I got to elementary school, he coached my football team. And we had this kid whose dad was like, "Oh, my kid's gonna be the quarterback. You know, he's born to be quarterback. I've been throwing with him since he was 6." And so we tried him out at quarterback, and he was awful because he was dumb. And you have to be smart to play quarterback. You can't be dumb. I mean, you have to be smart to play any position. Yeah, football is a very confusing sport. Like he was just a dumb hick from out in the country, you know, and like this was the country. He was from like 2 times the country, like extra country, and the dad would come out and just yell at my dad. My dad's not the type of guy you yell at. He's kind of he can be scary at times, but like he'd come out yelling. Like, you just do not understand. Like your son is a terrible quarterback, and so we had him at like some offensive line position. Also, he was fat. Like he was not made to be quarterback. He was slow and dumb. But I do feel mine was more like I grew up like in the same town. I had the same 3 friends from like age 4 maybe to like 18, and like I grew up like a very, you know, the South is just such a different cultural area than the rest of the country. Like I only ever known that, so I thought, oh, you know, I kind of want to go to the exact opposite. So like liberal, cold North was like, okay, like here we are, and like it was weird. The cultural shock was really weird. I did not expect that. I thought I didn't know what like liberals were exactly. Like you have like that liberal aunt, you know, who's like, you know, who like had the Bernie sticker. That was my mom though. My mom was the crazy liberal, but even she isn't liberal.
Most of the families I know, and like I grew up in Southern California. I grew up actually in like the only conservative part.
Where are you from?
Orange County.
One of my best friends from Orange County. She's from it's some Spanish name. I don't remember, but yeah, she's from Orange County because she's like, yeah, I'm from the one conservative county in Southern California.
Yeah. So I'm from Huntington Beach. So yeah, and like it's funny because like it's nowhere near the South. Like my roommate last year's from the South. Like it's not.
Where is she from?
She's from all around her. She was like an Army brat.
Oh yeah.
They currently live in Tennessee.
Okay, yeah.
And she worked in South Carolina for a while.
I dig that, yeah.
So it's nowhere near that, but it was like fairly conservative, and my group of friends as well were just like very conservative people, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we all went to college to liberal arts schools without thinking about it.
Yeah, me neither.
Mine was just I wanted to experience. Mine was geographically I wanted to see something different, and I want new people. Like I was like, I'm gonna pick a school that no one from Edison High School is gonna ever think of going to.
That's what mine. Yeah, exactly.
So like that was, but we all we started talking. We were like, did you know that we're the weird ones?
Oh my gosh, it's been horrible. I mean, horrible in a different way. The things, you know, just the things I say, you know, there's just some things where it's like, yeah, it's just like social things. Like I was asked during orientation, like, you know, say your name and your preferred pronouns. I went, what the? I don't know what the. And I was the first person up, so I was like, my name's Carlson Ketchum. I'm from Fort Smith, Arkansas. And I like pronouns because I got in a lot of trouble for that. My Jay got really mad at me because they thought I was mocking it. I just had no clue. You know, there's just phrases. It's just a different world, and I don't think people understand that. And up here, it's like there's just times where I just someone will get in an argument about some social issue, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna tap out on this one. You know, or the gun issue. That's like I come from like my grandfather owns like a gun room, and like I come from like Gun Central. So here it's like
it's really
weird.
Funny though, people get super testy about guns, like on either side of it.
Yeah, that's a raw nerve.
And it's just like you're either really for it, like you're for just everybody having guns, or you're like completely opposed to it. There's no oh, let's modify it. Let's change something a little bit. Like, it's always like so it's just funny. But the pronouns thing I can kind of relate to. It shocked me because like we did the same thing. Like everybody's say your pronouns, and it was really interesting though because when I did it, like no one used pronouns besides he and she.
Yeah, well, like, me neither.
There was no, but like in the group when you were introducing yourself, no one gave different pronouns.
Yeah, ours either. Yeah, ours too.
And so it was just really interesting because I was like, we're doing this whole task, but then it like would have been a fair assumption to be in here and assume everybody was using he or she. Yeah. But at the same time, like the first thing that shocked me was then I just like went to lunch, I was sitting down, and someone came and sat at my table and like introduced themselves and then introduced pronouns, and I was like, wait, do you have to do that every time you talk to someone? Yeah. Like every time you meet someone new, you gotta do this.
Yeah, it's weird. We're like,
it's just different, and like you just kind of like. I mean, I don't know. I've found like I've screwed it up with people, and they just correct me, and I'm like, I'm sorry. And just use the right pronouns.
Yeah. It's like saying I think it should be treated the same way as saying like when you say like this is Mrs. So and so, and they say oh it's Miss. Yeah, I mean I think it should be treated the same way, but like.
And like that just really like it just depends on the person with that. You know what I mean? Like. Like there's people that are like just correct you like like I prefer they them and theirs, and you're like I apologize.
Okay.
They're good. And there's other people like I'm sure that I've ruined friendships. Like you know what I mean? Like there's just people that have stopped talking to me because I've asked them like that's fine. Like I get it.
But that's.
You don't want to be around someone who can't talk to you. Like, I get that.
That's their. I think it's like it should be their responsibility to let you know because especially like me, like how am I supposed to know? I grew up around this. Went to school with the same 20 people.
What bothers people is the assumption.
Yeah,
like, when you because it is a pretty fair assumption because like kind of standardly in the world,
societally,
that's what people have chosen to use. It's
yes.
one or the other. But I think what bothers people, and like you can see that if like throughout the course of your life. There's this one thing that people always assumed about you that was always wrong. So like I get it. Like I think it's more. It's not really. It's either that they think that it's maliciously intended.
Yeah, which is
they might think
rare.
that, but it's probably not true for you. Right?
Yeah.
But there are people that definitely maliciously intend it. And the other one I think is just the assumption gets old after a while. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so sick of having to correct people.
Yeah.
Why do they keep making this assumption?
Yeah, which is, and I think like also, you know, people who go by that usually also are used to hang around circles of people who are used to asking that. Like, I've never met anybody who identified by anything else besides boy or girl. So like, I don't hang around circles where that's a thing. So I'm not used to asking them. I'm not used to having to look out for that. We had an artist. I'm a roadie for VCS, which is like the concert series we have every Thursday night. I just set up gear and all that. And we eat with the artists, and we had an artist who I don't really know what the term is, but she didn't go by he or she. She went by it. Which, to me, it would be offensive as all get out. But, like, that's their... to me, that's dehumanizing, but that's their prerogative. I'm not one to pass judgment. And she got very offended because we announced her as, you know, we were reading a little profile, and we said, she is a South African. And she got very offended and got very upset. And it's like, I'm sorry. I mean, like, I don't know what you expect. I don't know if in South Africa, in the community you live in, if that's common, but, you know... If anything, you'd think South Africa should be more like aware that that's not a thing, because South Africa is like a pretty conservative country, all in all. But it is interesting. Or like with sports, like, you know, there's starting to be girls playing football, which is great. But like, there's a lot of issues that are arising where we just like don't really know what to do. We're like, okay, like, you know, locker rooms was like the big first thing, you know. And so there was a girl at my sister's junior high who was the kicker. And they were like, all right, what do we do? What's this? How do we handle this issue? And it's like, all right, they have a girls' locker room right next to it. Some girls are like, I don't care. Like, you know, and that's like, hey, more power to them. You know, and like hitting them. You know, I played against a girl in high school, and it's like, I mean, do I hit her? Like, that's like a big moral issue, which here people would argue like that's sexist to think that. But like, and I get that, but like, I still hold the doors open for girls and all that. So
like that, but that stuff's fine. Like, and obviously outside of the field of play, like,
yeah,
shouldn't hit. Like, you shouldn't hit a guy either. But there's
like,
a little bit different.
I mean, to me, it's different.
No, I know, and I have one of the friends in my office. Like, we talk about it all the time. I'm like, he's like, just if a guy says certain things to another guy, like a fight's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And obviously, like that, like with a girl, he's like, you could say whatever you want to me. I'm not gonna fight you.
No, I'm not gonna. I would never lay a hand.
Like,
lay hand.
I
No.
get that. It's, you know, whatever. But like if they guard me, or they'll not foul me, but like I'll miss a layup.
Yeah.
And they'll call a foul. Like just things like that.
The
Just
goofy
like,
things.
no, you didn't foul me. And also like, keep leaving me open because I've got 10 points already.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's just funny things, but it's like, it's so annoying. Or the thing about it, I mean, I play with like the men's assistants.
Yeah.
So like, they'll play with me.
Yeah.
But like when I just show up to a random gym, they won't pass me the ball. Like I gotta get a rebound and go score a couple times before they'll be like, oh, she can actually play even though she's a girl. So like,
but that's all you can do is just prove yourself.
I know, but it's just annoying because then you got like Joe Schmo who can't even dribble.
Yeah,
like,
who's getting the ball?
Yeah, who gets the ball and like, things like that just bother me because the assumption is like, because you're a girl, you can't play.
And that's you know. That's a cultural flaw that will, as time
also,
passes.
Like, if you ever play pickup basketball, if a girl shows up, she's not going to be bad.
No,
Bad girls don't show up to play pickup.
To play any sport. I've never played a pickup sport where a girl like doesn't know what's going on and is playing.
Like, there'll be terrible guys that walk in there all the time.
I'd say most guys that play pickup basketball are usually not very good.
Yeah. Well, some of them are athletic.
Yeah, but like
there'll be guys who play that are awful.
Yeah.
Like, that couldn't have played. Walked into a gym, like, just to play pickup randomly.
They'd
9 times out of 10 people would pick you up.
Oh, 100%.
Which is
100%.
fine.
Which is...
But again, I just think it's funny because I just tell guys all the time, I was like, no bad female will show up to play pickup.
And I agree with that statement completely. Every pickup game I've played with a girl, she's dunking on people, and it's like, oh.
It just like frustrates me, but I mean it is like, and it's just one of those things that like it is what it is, and like, you know, like sometimes I correct people and sometimes I don't because the assumption's annoying. Like, you know what I mean? And that assumption is like 0% as difficult as like, you know, if it's how you identify.
Yeah.
But that's cool. Like you know. Sometimes I take responsibility and I'm like, hey, I can actually ball, and sometimes I'm like, you'll figure this out soon enough.
Yeah, whenever.
Like I don't want to go get drinks with you anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's interesting. It's like interesting how like so like when I was a kid, you played soccer. If you were white, you played soccer until you were in second grade. Then you played football. And by the time like I wasn't allowed to play football because my mom, when I was younger, because my mom was real weird about concussions, which was probably smart, but at the time I was mad at her about it. So I played soccer continually, which was bad because I'm slow. And I was the only white kid on the team because like that was just not a sport that white kids played past their age. But if you were a guy, there was the women's soccer team would be mostly like white girls. It was really weird how that worked. Or softball, like that's pretty much like a historically women's sport. I don't know I've never seen guys play softball, but it's just interesting how that plays out.
I mean, softball guys only play it like in their Tuesday night.
Yeah, like at the YMCA. Yeah. Like a pit. That's like.
It's not an actual like professional sport or anything. It's like that's what like baseball is.
Yeah. But yes, or volleyball. There's like no men's volleyball game, which is interesting because a lot of guys like playing volleyball. It's
no, there is men's volleyball.
Really?
I mean, there's no men's volleyball there. But yeah, men's volleyball is pretty big.
I've never heard of a men's volleyball thing.
Men's volleyball players are freak athletes.
You have to be.
They can jump so high, like. Yeah, so I mean there is that, but it's definitely not like football, then basketball, then soccer. Like most guys aren't gonna just pick volleyball right away.
No. We played volleyball like because there was a sand court next to the dorm of my high school, and we'd go play pickup volleyball until someone got tired or the ball rolled down the hill. But like that was never. It was never like, hey, there's a men's volleyball league,
Yeah, so it is a Division I sport. But it doesn't. I think a lot of schools don't have it just because of Title IX. Like you have to have equal scholarships.
Yeah.
And so football takes a ton.
Yeah.
Obviously on the men's side. So then you have to have more women's sports. So if you have women's volleyball, not men's volleyball, that can help even out those scholarships.
And women's softball and women's like water polo. I don't think we have a men's water polo team at the University of Arkansas. I think it's just a women's. I think it's for that reason because they didn't want to have to.
And like field hockey's the big one too that balances.
Field hockey, yeah. I'd never heard of lacrosse before coming here. I didn't know what it was.
Really? So my high school got lacrosse my senior year. They finally started a club program.
Okay.
But it's a mostly East Coast sport.
That's a very upper class thing. Like Arkansas is very poor.
And it's like an East Coast, New England thing. Like I wouldn't expect the South. Or like if you just even look at like the teams that are good at lacrosse in college, they're all on the East Coast.
All like New
England.
England.
The NESCAC is like all top 8.
Yeah, exactly. Or like our team's like insanely good at lacrosse. Yeah. Or at least I guess we are. I don't know. Yeah. I don't really know how lacrosse goes.
We are. The NESCAC's really good, and then like Springfield, Salisbury, and then like on the higher end like Duke, Syracuse, like just. I mean, I don't think there's a team out west.
Yeah, there's a lot of like just interesting things coming up here, just like that where it's like there's so many situations where I'm like I'm not even gonna start, and what? Oh, come on.
It's not bad though.
No.
What year are you in?
Freshman. So yeah, it'll get better. And also my group understands more or less. They're all very liberal, very PC, very all of them are pretty much like from like a very wealthy suburb of like Boston. One's from Orange County, and so it's like there's like you couldn't have chosen two polar opposite group type of people to hang around, and they're usually relatively understanding because they kind of get it. I'll say something where it's like I said something last night at dinner where they're just like you can't. That's just not something you can say, and it's like again I don't mean it out like cruelty. It's like that's what we say.
No, and like it's just like. You also just have to know who you're talking. Like I say this all the time. Sometimes like people start talking to me who don't know me.
Yeah.
But they've been clearly hanging out with a group of people who all agree with them.
Yeah.
And so then they think they can say something that you can't say. Like like that, or like that I just don't agree with. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's just one of those things. Like when you're with your friends, like you gotta have friends that you can screw up in front of, or you can say whatever, and they're like gonna be okay. But in terms of in general, when you go talk, like you can't just be.
Yeah. I've just gotten very careful. Like when I meet new people, I'm like very like seeing what everyone else is saying and kind of getting in on it, you know, and seeing what the word is because, you know, my good friends like, you know, for instance, someone told a story one time about an Indian, like from India, like, and I said daughter feather because back home that's like what you say, you know, and they were like, everyone's face dropped, and I was like, okay, that's one more thing you can't say, and that's fine. Like now I know not to say that. You know, people say Native American, which I actually will argue with them on that because I know Indians and they go by Indian, and so like that's one issue where I'll kind of take a stand because they don't know what they're talking about, but that's just one of the things where it's like, okay, I cannot say that anymore, and that's fine. I need someone to tell me. I need like a translator next to me.
Well, it's also interesting. So my college coach is black, and I used to talk to him like all the time. And the one thing that got me was so funny. He's like, I'm not an African American. I'm a Black American. I was born here. I was raised here. So it's just funny, like what we can term politically correct. However that is, it's like, I mean, it really just depends on who you're talking to. You know what I mean? Like, he prefers that. Other people wouldn't prefer that.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just funny. Like, it's the same thing with that. Like,
hey, Jane. This stand is like, it fell. It's doing fine. I'm holding it right now. Okay. But other than that, it's been fine.
Okay. I can actually take it from here.
All right, cool.
Start recording. All right. Thanks for doing that, by the way.